So you're scrolling through Netflix and you see that your recommendations are surprisingly accurate. Did Netflix just read your mind? Not really. In reality, they use neural networks, which I'm going to give a brief overview of today. So in a neural network, we have an input layer, potentially multiple hidden layers, but at least one, and then an output layer. And we can have as many circles in each of our layers as possible. So then each of these layers is connected by weights, which are lines visually, but in reality they're numbers that are used in mathematical equations. So, and here are some examples. So let's say you want to build a neural network that can figure out if there's a pizza in a photo. So for a pizza example, for an accurate neural network, let's say we need to give 3 inputs. The shape, so like circular, the color, so maybe red, and then the size in pixels. So in this example, we're going to say the shape is circular, and we're going to say a 0.5 represents that, and then color is red, but we're going to say 0.2 represents that, and then 300 for pixels, because computers don't understand words, so you have to have a number input. So now I'm going to go through how to calculate one of our circles in our hidden layer. So to do this, we have this equation, which is essentially we're going to multiply each of our weights by our input value, and then we're going to sum it all together. So for hidden layer 1, it's going to be 0.5 times its weight 10, 0.2 times its weight 10, and then 300 times weight 10, and we're going to add all of those together, and we get 3007. So next we have to put our h1 value through an activation function, and we do that to keep to prevent just increases in each hidden layer as we go along in a linear fashion, because that's not a very accurate predictive model. So in this case, our activation function is our output, or the circle in our hidden layer. In this example, h1 divided by 1000, and that equals 3.007. And so now we do the same process over for each of the other circles in our hidden layer. So I just went and did the same process for the rest of the circles in my hidden layer. And now these outputs, or our hidden layer values, become our inputs for our next layer, which is our output. And then we do the same process that we did for h1 to get the value of our output circle. So our output ends up being 0.21049, but let's say we want it to be 0.5. So that's where this fancy thing called backpropagation comes in handy. So in backpropagation, we're going to be changing our weight values either by increasing them or decreasing them by a set amount. So let's say we increase our weight values by 2, and our output layer is now 0.3, so we're heading in the right direction. If not, then we would decrease our weight values. So we keep increasing and decreasing those weights until we get the correct output, and now we have a good predictive neural network. And that is a brief overview of neural networks.